Hello, YouTube. This is the 8th podcast response for InfoSec. The source material was taken from TwitTV's Security Now, episode 552, Drown. The three topics I'll be summarizing today are a vulnerability in iMessage, a mobile device side channel attack, and a look at the Drown vulnerability. So Matthew Green is a professor at Johns Hopkins, and he and 4 research students actually found a way to poke a hole in Apple's iMessage. And this is due to a flaw in Apple's iMessage text protocol. The team was able to decrypt the contents of the message attachments such as photos and videos. And it worked like this. Basically, Apple protects their iMessages by signing them, not by authenticating them. And so really this makes it possible for an attacker to replace the Apple signature with a signature of their own. And then they can trace that back eventually, decrypt the contents of a message to or from an individual. And Matthew says that really the only good way to fix this issue is for Apple to just completely move away from their current iMessage architecture and move on to something more carefully designed. The second topic I'll be summarizing is about a side channel attack on mobile devices. A few podcasts ago, I summarized a way that researchers stole an ECC encryption key from a computer wirelessly across a wall. And this time, the attack was actually done on mobile devices. These were iOS devices, an iPhone, and an iPad. And so the basics of the attack can be done by merely placing a magnetic probe near the device or by using a power tap on one of the charge cables for the devices. The interesting thing is the attack does not require any additional software to be installed, and because the attack uses electromagnetic frequencies below 200 kilohertz, the attacks can actually be carried out with cheap, readily available equipment like sound cards and improvised probes. And on to the main topic for this podcast. This is the Drown attack. So Drown stands for Decrypting RSA with Obsolete and Weakened Encryption. In a nutshell, this is an attack that can happen on TLS encryption through the use of SSL version 2, which has many known vulnerabilities. So this is a harmful vulnerability that affects HTTPS and other services that rely on SSL and TLS. So Drown attack allows hackers to break encryption and read and steal sensitive communications like passwords, credit card numbers, financial data, and so on. And according to the website drownattack.com, 33% of HTTPS servers are currently vulnerable to the attack. So modern servers and clients use the TLS encryption protocol. However, due to misconfigurations, many servers also support SSL version 2, which was the predecessor to TLS, which has many known vulnerabilities, and that's why it is no longer used widely in the security community. So even supporting SSL version 2 wasn't really considered a security problem until now because none of the clients ever used it. But according to drownattack.com, 17% of current HTTPS servers still allow SSL version 2 connections. So this is quite a problem. So it's definitely a threat to modern servers and clients. If you don't know your server supports SSL version 2, it would be wise to check that, despite the fact that it can be troublesome and tough to configure that so that SSL version 2 is not supported. So drownattack.com says that in order to protect against this attack, server operators need to make sure that private keys are not used anywhere with server software that uses SSL version 2 connections. This is web servers, SMTP servers, IMAP, POP, basically anything that supports TLS or SSL. Unfortunately, disabling SSL version 2 can be very complicated, and it really depends on the server software, but it is known that this attack can occur. So if there are ways to safeguard yourself, if you can set up something to block that SSL version 2, it would be very wise to do so. So thanks for listening to the 8th podcast. Look forward to you for the last 2 podcasts.